The story begins by explaining that every 1,000 years, the gods gather in Valhalla to decide the fate of humanity. Another one of these meetings is now underway to decide whether humanity is allowed to live or not. They all take into view that humans have destroyed planet Earth's lands and seas, so they all voted to get rid of mankind. But just before the verdict was passed, one of the 13 Valkyrie demigods named Brunhilde has an offer for the gods. She suggests to solve the matter in a different way and proposes Ragnarok, a one-on-one battle between humans and gods. Each side selects 13 champions, and if humanity wins 7 of the rounds, the gods will give humanity another 1,000 years to live. All the gods laugh considering how much stronger they are to humans, but they end up agreeing with Brunhilde's idea. Brunhilde is the representative of humanity. She gets to choose 13 of the strongest humans out of the 7 million years of human history. Soon the great battle between humans and Ragnarok gods begins. The rules of the games are very simple. Humans and gods will fight until the last breath. The god represented in the first round is Thor, the god of thunder, the strongest Norse god. But even so, Brunhilde is still very confident with her human representative. She summons a famous Chinese warrior, an undefeated champion of human history. His name is Lu Bu. The first round begins, and they both approach each other without knowing how the other opponent will attack. Thor and Lu Bu have similar fighting styles, and they are the ones known to be able to defeat their opponents with a single blow. They both strike, and Thor uses the Thor hammer attack, and Lu Bu uses the halberd to withstand it. Then suddenly Thor activates the divine lightning power, where he tilts his whole body backwards, after using the attack, making everyone believe he was going to win. Lu Bu suddenly emerges from the fog, injuring Thor. The gods are shocked that a human weapon could even injure a god. But it turns out that before the match began, the 13 Valkyrie demigods all gathered together to create weapons for the representatives of humanity. The demigods transform themselves into weapons for humanity to use against the gods. They are known as divine weapons. Lu Bu is using the 4th Valkyrie known as Randris, who possesses the power to break a god's armor. Lu Bu then uses the divine weapon to destroy Thor's glove armor. After that, a thumping sound is heard from within the hammer. Thor uses the gloves to seal his full power and prevent Thor from crushing his own hammer. After he removes his gloves, Thor is now getting serious, as he uses his full strength to throw the hammer at Lu Bu. But Lu Bu dodges it and counterattacks. After, the hammer returns to Thor, but once again he dodges it. However, the return of Thor's hammer is necessary, as he needs this to happen so he can activate the skill known as the Gerod's hammer. He uses the Gerod, and a huge explosion occurs. Then all the gods are stunned, as there should be no way Lu Bu would be able to survive. But Lu Bu blocks his attack. But even though he blocks it, this time Lu Bu broke his legs, as the human body can't withstand that much pressure. And this is one of the reasons why humans can't defeat gods. At this moment, all hope for humanity is lost, and even Lu Bu thought his time has come. Then suddenly, red hair, Lu Bu's horse appears on the battleground. He struggles because of his injured legs, but somehow manages to get on the back of red hair. He approaches Thor with his ultimate and final technique, which he developed over several decades of training. The crowd are cheering for Lu Bu as he goes in for his final attack called the Sky Piercer, while Thor throws the hammer with all his might. But Lu Bu's power is unmatched against a god, and Thor is shown victorious. However, even after being defeated, Lu Bu is still happy of the outcome because he finally challenged a worthy opponent. His army charge onto the battlefield and scream out at Thor to end them so they can reunite with their lord Lu Bu, now that he's gone. So Thor answers their wishes and they all get wiped out by the hammer. And now mankind is one step closer to extinction. Brunhilde, the representative of humanity, decides to summon the next human, who has a special code next to their name. This will be the champion in the second round. As he appears, all mankind recognize exactly who it is. He's the one who hates the gods the most throughout human history. It's the one and only original ancestor of mankind, Adam. Adam's opponent is Zeus, who is the god of gods. They didn't expect such a powerful god to participate in the second round, since the original opponent for Adam was meant to be the Indian god Shiva. But at the very last second he was swapped with Zeus, thus making Brunhilde very worried. Adam then enters the battlefield with confidence and doesn't care about who he's facing. Then Zeus appears with a very dominating aura, and uses his power to boost his physique. Before the round starts, Reginleif, the seventh sister of the Valkyries, offers herself as Adam's weapon. They combine souls, and the people are shocked when they see Adam's weapon, which is an iron fist, or knuckle-dusters, which he can use to defeat the oldest god in the universe. Zeus is the first to attack, and he unleashes a punch at the speed of light, but Adam simply dodges it, which infuriates Zeus. Then Zeus uses even more power and does the meteor jab technique. But even so, Adam still manages to easily dodge all his combo attacks. But then Adam strikes back using the same moves as Zeus. He does this by using his special ability called Eyes of the Lord. The gods created Adam as a perfect reflection of themselves, so Adam is able to copy any moves the gods use against him. Adam is winning the fight so far by striking Zeus with his own powerful attacks. Suddenly, Zeus changes his approach of attack from punching to kicking. He uses the kick against Adam, but Adam once again dodges this and uses this move to knock down Zeus. Zeus starts to get angry and uses his final attack, something he learned from his father when he was a young god, which is to stop time entirely, and we see that everything stops moving. This is the divine power which defies all the laws of time. But to everyone's surprise, it was actually Zeus who got knocked down. Everyone is shocked after seeing the scene. Just now, Adam's divine reflection power is too great. Everyone thought this round ended with a victory belonging to Adam. And while humanity were rejoicing, Zeus all of a sudden stands back up, but in anger. Zeus starts getting serious, as for the first time in millions of years, someone has forced Zeus to bring out his final form, known as Adamas, but this form is limited as he can only be in it for 12 minutes. Zeus actively attacks, but Adam uses Eye of the Lord to copy him in this form, and uses Zeus's power to counter-attack. It looks like Adam is going to be the winner, but Adam's eyes are starting to get overheated, because he's using the Eye of the Lord skill for too long. And for Zeus, every strike he does while in this final form carries an enormous amount of power. So Zeus is also having a hard time, because his body is starting to reach its limit of endurance. The spectator Loki notifies everyone that this is now a battle of time, to see whose power will run out first. After delivering another punch, Adam's eyes are now completely blind. Taking this opportunity, Zeus counter-attacks his power. Adam tries his best to defend because he couldn't see anything, and Adam takes a massive hit from Zeus. While all of humanity is in despair, a voice calls out to Adam. And at the last moment, the father of all of mankind is still determined to protect all of his children. It was a miracle seeing Adam get back up and continue the fight, being in his condition. After Zeus takes another punch from Adam, Zeus collapses, but everyone realizes that Adam is standing completely still. Everyone thought that Adam had won, but it turns out that Adam had already taken his last breath moments ago when he went blind. But even after his death, his soul lived on and continued to fight on for his children. Zeus was claimed the winner in the second round. So after 2 matches, 2 humans and 2 Valkyries are dead. Humanity must win the third round. At this moment, Brunhilde received word that the god Poseidon will be the opponent in the third round. Poseidon is the brother of Zeus, a god known for being the most brutal, and he's the ruler of the seas. Brunhilde was finding it hard to select the right person for the third round. And just then, an old guy walks in saying he would represent mankind. His name is Sasaki Kojiro, also known as the greatest loser in history. Even in death, he continued his path to becoming the greatest swordsman. When Kojo draws a sword, everyone is shocked to know that he reached the highest level of a swordsman. He's the number 1 under the sun. The match began, but both of them are just standing still. Kojiro is wielding Mono Heshizo, the divine weapon formed by the Valkyrie Volund, the second sister of the Valkyries. Poseidon wasn't even looking at Kojiro, because he considers himself far more superior than him. He even feels like he's more superior to all the gods in the universe. After they were standing for some time, nobody noticed what was going on, except from some of the gods. But Kojiro was actually already fighting Poseidon, but in his mind, and has lost the battle 18 times in his mind. This is one of Kojiro's techniques, called the 1000 image of defense, which creates a virtual copy of his opponent in his mind, allowing him to try out different attack patterns. Kojiro now knows that if he takes the initiative to attack first, Poseidon will finish him off immediately. Kojiro is sure that no matter how he attacks, he will be defeated by Poseidon. After a series of calculations, Kojiro still decides to strike first. According to the law of inertia, when slashing at 200 kilometers per hour, the sword will not be able to change direction. But Kojiro is different and uses a special skill called the Tsubame Gishi. After using Tsubame Gishi, Poseidon looks into the eyes of a human for the first time. He starts approaching Kojiro and unleashes multiple attacks, but Kojiro easily deflects them all in an instant. He can do this because Kojo is still using the 1000 images of defense in his mind, so he's able to see all of Poseidon's moves. At this moment, Poseidon starts whistling. This attack is so fast that Kojiro can't react in time. At this moment, Poseidon has a smug look on his face and says, "What's wrong? I thought you were able to read your opponent's moves." Poseidon uses the Emperor Tidy attack on Kojiro. The gods are still shocked at Kojiro's defenses. They can't believe an ordinary person can get to a level comparable to a god. Kojiro can block all of Poseidon's attacks at the speed of light. Suddenly, Kojiro takes the initiative to counter-attack, and after a fast sword slash, Kojo then reverses his sword hand. It is a secret technique, but it is completely useless in the face of Poseidon's overwhelming power. Poseidon broke the sword in half and mankind lost all hope. We then get a quick flashback scene of Kojo fighting the last opponent he faced. His name was Musashi Miyamoto, a legendary swordsman. He remembers the joy of training with him to become the #1 under the sun. After this, for the first time in his life he pushed for victory. He stood once again with his broken sword and uses the Valkyrie weapon regeneration skill, which gives him 2 swords. With the new swords in hand, Kajwaro attacks Poseidon with his full power, using everything he experienced from the legendary swordsman of his time, and managed to kill Poseidon, this being the first time a god of the sea is killed by the power of a human. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on another video. Until next time guys, take care.